Good evening, friends. I'm Pooja Gandhi from Kirin Advisors. Welcome you all for the virtual IPO roadshow of Radiowalla Network Limited. Radiowalla Network Limited specializes in providing comprehensive customer engagement solutions tailored to B2B sector, from exclusive in-store radio channels to corporate radio services and innovations advertising solutions. They aim to enhance brand visibility and engagement. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Harvinderjeet Singh Bhatia, co-founder and CEO. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Harpreet Singh, COO, Chief Operating Officer. Welcome, sir.
Hi, thank you.
Mr. Angad Singh, Nalnonia, Financial Executive Director Services.
Hi, everyone.
Ms. Nikita, Senior Manager from Nalnonia Financial Services.
Hi, thank you.
Now I request Mr. Harvinderjeet Singh to give detailed presentation of the company. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, Pooja. Uh, Welcome to all the attendees of this investor meet of Radiowalla. And thank you for the time taken out to listen to our story. Uh, just to quickly, walk you through our presentation. Radiowalla is a consumer engagement platform. And how did it start? It started with the in-store radio. So, in a simple term, let me explain what we do, and that will encompass a lot of my presentation slides as well. So we provide customized audio solutions to retail stores, corporates, cafes, hospitality sector, hotels, wherein they engage this medium and the shopping experience of their customers. What it means is that whether they have one store or they have 1,000 stores, all will play the same content across the stores. Now, how did we conceive this idea? So till a decade back, primarily Radiowalla, prior to Radiowalla services, the retail stores were primarily burning CDs and sending it to the retail stores. Now that was a problem because that was treated as piracy by music labels. So they had to stop this. And the second point was that if one store in a metro city like Bombay or Delhi was playing the English music, the stores in smaller towns were dependent on the store manager and kind of music play, and there was no control at the brand level. So these were the two pain points of the retail stores, retail industry, and that's when we started Radiowala. We are providing solution via our servers, via internet, via streaming, and other non-streaming solutions. There's nothing happening at the front end. Everything happens at our back end at Bangalore, where our tech team is located out of, and we manage the entire content from there. Today, we are servicing more than 450 brands in 27,000 plus locations across India and 10 other countries. Now, how has this been possible? This is possible because of the technology platform what we have built up, and that's the core strength that we are. It's a proprietary technology platform, and we are using it across whether for the front end for our customers or at the back end for our team to work on. And we have an in-house dedicated content team which works very closely with the brands we work with. Next, please. So what does it do? So it's as you would have all been to any malls or any shopping area, and you would have listened to certain music, and everyone wonders that where this music is coming from. It's nothing is happening at the front end. And why would a retailer work with us and not play their own music via any other medium like a YouTube or a Spotify, or play their own music from their computer? Music to be played in a retail store requires a different kind of licensing. So once that comes into play, it becomes a complicated story for a retailer because they are not experienced enough to know what kind of license they have to take, and who owns the license, which body owns the license, because there are multiple bodies which are licensing this music. And that's what we help them in controlling uh, this area. Uh, we have our music curation so that, what we can bring on is, uh, hi, I have my co-founder Anil Sirvatsa also joining me. Hello. We can join. So I'm just walking through the presentation. So we have a fully copyrighted music library which we bring onto the table. We are engaging our customer through the relevant messaging, and that is because music is licensed. It's curated so that it's the best of experience what we are passing on to our customers, to our retailers, and in turn to the shoppers. Uh, Once we have created this setup, we have created a on-air ad inventory in stores where they can play third-party um, advertisements to reach these shoppers as well. And these third-party advertisers could be the brands which are selling in the retail store, or companies like insurance, banks, credit cards, travel agencies who are trying to reach these shoppers. So it's a very hyper-local advertising to reach the customers in that target area at point of sale at a very high frequency. Next, please. So along with retail, we have a corporate radio wherein we are creating content for corporates for their employees. Now, this is played in their warehouses, in their offices. So this is helpful for companies who have large network, who have multiple offices, thousands of it, hundred thousands of employees, and they work in, you know, different languages. They work in different time zones. So we create content for them, which helps them on the job learning and training module. Today, for a largest D2C company in India, we are creating content in 6 languages for the blue collar workers, and they pay a monthly subscription. Next, please. As I mentioned, I'm not going to detail on this, but the tech stack is been built in house. Certain things are, you know, API integration with third parties, but basic platform is our proprietary platform, core platform. Now, why this is important? Because this is a real-time dashboard for our clients who are sitting in their head office. They have full visibility on what's happening in their stores, if any stores shut down, the music at their end, automated emails get generated, and at our back end also ops team get into action, make sure the music starts playing. And as you can all appreciate that the music in a retail store is a must have and not just good to have. So that's where we need to, you know, have a very robust tech platform. Next, please. This I've already covered that this is why our technology advantage what we have. One of the things we are talking of is programmatic advertising, which I will talk in the next slide as well. And this platform has basically allowed us to scale up rapidly across geographies now, not just in India, but even overseas as well. Next, please. On advertising, typically what we do is that in a 60-minute channel, we have 5 minutes of ads per hour. Now, with that be the case, you know, you can imagine 10 hours a store is open, and out of our uh, 20,000 odd stores, around 5,000 can run the ads. Now, these are giving us 270 million fall per month. Now, that's a very large footfall target for an advertiser. And this is what we have built on based on our scale. And it is, as I said, it can be as granular as one store to a national presence of 1,000 stores we can manage as per the advertiser's requirement. Next, please. Now, this is a very key project we are working on for the future, which is called programmatic advertising. This is typically digital ads, Google ads, they work on programmatic ads. But for an offline store, to convert the offline ad inventory into digital platform. This is what we are pioneering in India. We are the second audio company in the world which has piloting project as of now. And we are working on the technology front with a Singapore-based company, Moving Walls, and they are building the technology platform especially for Radiowala. Next, please. Uh, In-store platform as a medium came up in the last decade, and we have been able to register ourselves with DAVP. Now, DAVP is the apex government body through which all the government and PSU ads get released. Now, Radiowalla is the only company which has been enabled for in-store radio network, and this gives us a large pool of advertiser base of government and PSU advertising who can advertise in this media. We have already started with clients like BIS, RBI, LIC who have started using the medium. It's early days. We've just started this, but we see the very large potential of advertising out of this network. Next, please. I'll just scan through because these are typically point of purchase advertising. Next, please. Jukebox is another QR code based, which is good for restaurants and other bars where people sit and enjoy, and they can look at our playlist, they can request a song. So this is another innovation we are bringing on our uh, platforms. Next, please. Uh, as we grew our audio network, a lot of our clients wanted kind of creating an ambience around it, and that's where the need of digital screens in these retail stores and closed door environment came up. And now we have added on these screens as well. Uh, we work with hardware partners for this. We don't engage in hardware development ourselves. Ours is a primarily SaaS company, so we focus on digital content management on these screens. Please. Next, please. That's the same thing. Next, please. These are various use cases of digital signage, as we said. So on the team front, I and Anil Sirvatsa were the co-founders. Anil has been doing radio since age 7, and this is his 50th year in radio. And he has set up India Today's first FM radio station in India as a talk show radio station. And he was the CEO of Kings 11 Punjab as well. And he has had many more accolades on audio front before embarking on Radiowalla. In fact, the name Radiowalla comes from him in the sense everyone wanted to know who is this person who's doing radio in US, and everyone referred to him as Radiowalla. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. Have been in corporate life for 30 years. Uh, did my executive program from Columbia Business School as well, and I'm involved in multiple activities at PI on media front as well. Next, please. Harpreet is our Chief Operating Officer. He's with us for over a decade. He used to run a company which was merged in Radiowalla, and then he's looking at operations. He is an engineer and ISB graduate. Deepak Shetty, Chief Revenue Officer, again has been with us for over a decade. So all the team members you see, they have been with us over a decade, and that brings stability to the business. And the core team has been able to uh, manage the operations. Next, please. These are the basic industries we are focusing on: corporate, retail, health and wellness, hospitality, shopping mall, warehouses, and large corporates, offices as well. Next, please. Why should you look at Radiowala? Now, this business is not just domestic. We are already present in 10 countries, and we have seen that, and we don't have any set over there. It's just the front end sales. Rest all we manage from Bangalore, where our studios are located. We have a 54 employee team, and we have not increased this team over the years because with the investment in technology, a lot of our processes are getting, uh, you know, automated. We are using some AI tools to bring up efficiency at our backend. And that's a continuous innovation and one of the reasons for raising funds as well. Uh, we work very closely with the Indian retail industry, with Retailers Association of India, and that gives us, you know, access to our clients. And with our clients also increasing their retail outlets year on year, our cost of acquisition is very low as compared to any other business you would have seen. So, as we say, we are a tech company. We are a content is in our DNA. We create RAS, which is radio as a service, and for our clients. And next, please. Let's quickly jump to the next slide. So there are global players. So from a scale perspective, it can this is just to give you an idea that there are companies who are doing like 500, 700,000 retail stores. Yes, we are doing around 28,000 stores and we are the largest player in the country. But in India itself, the organized retail is over 200,000 retail stores. So there's a huge, you know, opportunity in India. Why then are we looking at overseas market as well? One, there are these Indian brands who are going out of the country and we are going with them. And a lot of multinational brands who are in India, we are working with them. They like our service. They are referring us to other parts of the world as well. So it's a cross pollination. What is happening? Very, you know, internal without any cost or a large cost, I would say. But and see that the yield what you get in a international market is much than in Indian market. So it helps us improve our margins as well. Next, please. These are some of the Indian players. So I won't say there is no competition. There are competition. It is good to have competition. They keep us alive and they have their own strengths. But collectively, all of them put together, Radiowalla is a larger player in terms of number of stores and revenue as well. Next, please. These are some of the hacks what we had created. I'll skip those for the time being. It can be shared in the presentation. Yeah, next, please. These are some of our clients, and as you can see, most of the big names in retail industry, they are our clients. So we endeavor to get rest of them who are not there. And the best part is that lots of these clients have been with us for over a decade now. And most of them are like over 4 year, 5 year, they're working with us. Next, please. Some of the international ones, both here and in other countries. Next, please. So from a financial highlights, as you can say, FY21 was when COVID had hit us. So obviously we were impacted as well. But since then, we have seen that a continuous substantial growth both in the number of stores as well as in the revenue. And we have been a profitable company for last 4 years now, and has been a decent growth story for the last 4 years. So these are some of the next, please. These are some of the numbers. Uh, One of the key point, let me just bring out here is that yes, employee cost is uh, almost like 30-35% of the revenue. But that's typically in these kind of businesses, as though the revenue, the fixed cost on the employees is not going to increase. And that will help us improve the margins over a period of time. Next, please. A very straightforward balance sheet, no debt other than a working capital limit with the bank. And we don't have any borrowings per se. And we are keeping our, payables and receivables to manage our working capital. Year-end, typically we see a higher number of receivables because March everyone does the billing and then the collection comes in. But that's nothing to worry from number of days outstanding perspective. That's well within control. Next, please. Yeah, that's continuing from there. Next, please. These are some of the ratios. Angat, request you to take this, please.
Yeah, thank you, Harry sir, for such a beautiful presentation. On the issue terms, if you can see the slide, the issue is totally for 18 lakh 75,200 shares, coming at a price band of 72 to 76 rupees, with a lot size of 1600. So approximately the lot becomes of somewhere around 1.2 lakhs. The anchor bidding has already been closed and it is live on NSC. Three anchors have come in for the anchor size. The leading one is Rajasthan Global with Nova on the second and Bengal Finance on third. These are three biddings that has been done. On the issue size, the issue is opening tomorrow, and due to a lot of holidays in between, it will be closing on 2nd of April, and we are expecting a listing on 5th of April. The QIB anchor is already closed, but the rest of the QIB is around for 3.53 lakh shares with retail of around 6.17 lakh shares. And market maker is also there, Prabhat Financial and SS Corporate. And the HNI category of around 2.65 lakh shares is available. The company's post issue market cap is somewhere around 53.6 CR, and the post issue paid up will be somewhere around 7.05 crores. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Right. So the company is raising around 14.25 crores, which in majorly is going for working capital and investment in technology. A bit of the part is also going for capex, and then the rest of the part is going for GCP and issue expenses. Uh, Rest, yeah. So these are the book. The lead manager is Narnolia, and the registrar is Mashitla, and this is the major chunk of the people involved in this transaction. Please, next slide. Right. Thank you. We'll take the questions now.
Thank you for the amazing presentation. Now I open the floor for question and answer session. I request all the participants to please post your questions in comment box. I request all the participants to please post your questions. We'll be happy to answer. First question is from Mr. Arav. Can you please elaborate on the vertical wise contribution to revenues?
Sure. So primarily, our till now, I would say around 70% of the revenue comes from in-store subscription, where the retailers pay us per month per store for the service we are providing. Around, I would say 20% would be on account of advertisement, which we are running both audio as well as digital screens advertisement revenue. And around 10% is other revenue, which is primarily from independent artist music licensing. As I talked about music licensing earlier, there are two, three parts to it that there are two agencies which license music of all the music labels, be it Sony, Z, Yashraj, Universal, T Series. Whereas some retailers do not want this Bollywood or English main level label music. So we have aggregated independent artist music, which could be instrumental, which could be fusion, and we license that music to retail store. So that accounts for around 10% of our revenue. So these are the three broad verticals of revenue. And as of now, from a geographical presence, I would say 95% is India. A very small portion is coming out of the international business.
Okay. Move on to the next question from Srinivas. What is your working model? Is this online radio or offline FM radio type, or collecting the ads and pushing them to various radio channels? Complex business to understand by going through your website.
Okay. So, actually, the working model is very simple. We play radio or audio, what we call in retail stores. It's not a FM business. For FM business, you need a license from the government, which is like going into hundreds of crores. Just to give you, Mirchi and HT Media paid around 150 crore for a 15-year license for an FM license in Delhi. So we are not governed by those. So it's a very focused for retail store and closed door B2B business model. We do not, we collect the ads, we source the ads, but that is only for our network. We are not into trading business where we are taking ads and selling it to other FM channels or anything. It's for our own business. It says, so as I mentioned, there is a revenue from subscription where the clients pay us for our services. We generate ads, so there is a ad revenue. And the third is music licensing for independent artists. So these are the three streams of revenue. Hope I'm able to address Srinivas. Happy to clarify further.
Okay, sir. Move on to next question from Prem Singhania. We are currently into the B2B segment. What is the scope in the B2C segment?
Happy to take that. Hello, my name is Anil. Sorry, I came in a little late. I have two babies needing my attention. Uh, the B2C segment is very exciting as far as I'm concerned, and it's not something that we need to pivot, but just expand the customer base. Now we're doing business. Now this is all conceptual at this point, but it is possible as we grow.
But
We
not as FM.
It's nothing to see. Don't think of radio as you know it as FM AM radio. Radio is a generic term from now on. It's always going to be used to depict audio, regardless of the medium we're on. Okay, so this has nothing to do with FM. But on the B2C space, just like retailers are looking for bespoke audio channels. Okay, I'm going to switch to this thing called audio channels, not just radio. There are possibilities where big families, and there is no such thing as a small family in India, big families would like their own bespoke family style radio station that is only for their family. And that's where the B2C possibilities can start opening up. And this is global. Now, let's just stick to India. Uh, that would be the biggest opportunity because at this point, that would also be a subscription based model. And and that's money up front. It's not going to be a billing cycle.
Move on to next question from Tariq. What is the market size of total accessible market of this business specially?
So Tarek, unlike other businesses, this is a very new industry to so to say, which has come up over last 10 years. So from a market assessment, we work on the basis of what is the retail industry size, because that's our base to start with. And as I mentioned, today in India itself, we have over 250,000 retail stores, restaurants, and more organized retail is happening in tier 2, tier 3 cities. So that's my addressable market. And being a SaaS player, we don't have to be physically present in all locations. Today, we are like present in 920 odd cities in India, and it is growing. And also, what happens is that a lot of our clients like Reliance, Landmark, Aditya Birla Group, they are also expanding their stores. So as they expand, we are part of the whole backend process. and our scale also increases uh, year on year as they grow.
And then the single retails, the long tail.
And the single, yeah, long tail definitely is improving. They're going into uh, kind of organized manner. Earlier, they used to play music for which they were not paying the license fee and all that, and or they were playing FM radio in their stores. So what was happening? Even their competition ad, if it was coming on their store, it was being heard by their customers, and that is not a good sign for a retailer. So that's where, they also want to professionalize. The announcements are not being made by staff. These are professional voiceovers, and they pay us for these productions over and above the music service fee. So we are like, building up the whole. Uh,
Yeah, also the fact that now 13 years later of being in this business, it was hard enough to convince the organized retail to have this service because they're all using the same system. So now that the organized retail has become a little more sophisticated in this aspect of their customer experience in the retail environment, there are smaller shop owners and shopkeepers who actually shop in these areas, and they suddenly have started to notice that each one of them has their own radio station, and then aspirationally they want to have it on their in their own space. And so we're seeing a lot of traffic into our website now, where there is that sales at radiowalla.in. A lot of these small people are coming through. People that we didn't know exist, people that we could not reach if we had to deploy feet on street. So that gave us this insight into what we can do and how do we address this community, which is a larger community than the organized retail, because they're all dispersed, but they're next to each other, is to use tech, which is one of the use cases of the funds we raise, is to use this tech to reach them uh, through a 3 point system where they go to our online space, or if it's an app, they swipe, we charge the credit card, maybe quarterly, and then they can pick this kind of selections they need. And then, boom, connect it to their speakers, and they're able to have the same experience as the big retailers do. So that is where I think the opportunity from now on using these funds will go into start capturing, because it's difficult for any competitor globally to reach this kind of long tail. So if at all we are able to crack it, we'll probably be the first.
Okay. Move on to next question from Rajesh Bhatia. What is our total staff strength? Do we need skilled staff for our business operations? If yes, what is the bifurcation between skilled and non-skilled?
Harpreet, Harpreet, can you take that question, please?
Yeah, so our total staff strength is 54. This includes our full-time employees. There are some employees who are on contract, depending on specific skill sets required for that role. Um, for example, a specific language RJ or a voiceover artist or a content creator for specific languages, those are typically on contract. Uh, Most of our staff are skilled staff, so I wouldn't say skilled and non-skilled because the work requires specific skill sets for each of the job roles. So there's no
Okay.
specific bifurcation about skilled and non-skilled.
So if we brought a non-skilled person, we'll have to train them with the skill. So they will require the skill.
Okay. Move on to next question from Yash Mistry. We have seen improvement in profitability margin in the past 2 to 3 years. In current profitability margin sustainable, what are our strategies to improve it further? Any guidance on the same?
So, as I mentioned during while talking about the P&L, if you see our employee cost is almost like 35 odd percent of the revenue. And as we grow revenue, which has been growing at over 20-30% year on year, the payroll cost is not going to go up in that manner because we are automating a lot of backend processes and everything. So that is helping us improve the profitability margin as we scale up. The marginal profit keeps going down to the bottom line. And yes, we are quite confident that in fact these margins should improve. We are not, and how they will improve. One is the organic growth of revenue in India, plus the international business will bring in more margins. advertisements which has just started, as I mentioned about the third party advertisement onto our revenue stream, we have just started it, kick-started it a year back. There is a lot to be done over there, and we already have the inventory in hand. So it's just a matter of execution now. So we need some BD guys in towns to meet the agencies and bring this medium on their platform as well. And as I mentioned, DAVP is already done. We are already registered with WPP as well as a medium. So we are working with now ad agencies to improve that. And that's where the margin percentage will increase. I can't give a forecast or guidance on specific numbers, but we are confident on improving it as we go ahead.
Okay. Move on to next question from Ms. Priyanka Salonki. How are government policies supportive to our business?
So it's a internet based business, so we don't need any government licensing support for this. It's a private business.
Well, other than DAVP.
Uh, but DAVP helps us in the sense that now the government can advertise on another medium, and as you can see that a lot of government initiatives are being taken, and they want to reach out. Like just to give an example, now elections are coming, so now election commissioner would be spending a lot of money on kind of educating the
Voter education.
voter education and all those things. So we are hopeful that we will also get a pie of that, spend what they are going to do. So,
Okay.
so as I said, there are no government licensing required. So we are uh, pretty confident that we will be able to generate revenues.
Okay. Move on to next question from Nihar Shah. What kind of growth are we expecting in next 3 years? What will be the biggest growth driver going ahead? Second, also, are the EBITDA margins sustainable at current level?
Angad, can I make any forward-looking statement?
Not on the numbers, sir, but you can take on the expected growth just on the type of businesses that we are in. Not forwarding,
Okay,
no forwarding statements.
okay. No, so as you can see, over the last 4 5 years, our CAGR has been over 55%, and we expect that we would like to continue with the same growth, though the base has also gone up now, but that's what our target is. And biggest growth driver going forward, advertisement is definitely going to be a big growth factor for us. And just to put that in context, it's not that anyone can start tomorrow and start generating advertisements. So even one of our competition, which is part of the large media house, they have not been able to generate advertisement. The reason being they don't have the large network to get their advertisement out.
For the right network.
So that is very critical. And like as I mentioned, even out of our 27 odd thousand stores plus we are servicing, advertisement can run on say 5,000 plus stores. But that 5,000 is giving us over 200 million footfall per annum, per month. Sorry. Now that's a very large audience footprint as compared to any FM player in the country. So, as Anil
It's
is
a filtered audience as
as a
well.
and it's a targeted audience who are spending half an hour in the retail store, who have propensity to spend
And
over 4,000
they're at the
rupees.
point of purchase.
Yeah. So
Oh,
yes, there would be other names of FM radio players, but I think uh, whatever the kings are over there in this retail store, we are pretty confident that we will be able to sustain our ground because we have seen over the last 10 years, whatever learnings we have done, whatever innovations we have brought in, our clients are staying together with us. And that's very key for any growth in the business that your
Also,
customer
since
is.
we're a greenfield business when we started the whole thing as a concept, like when you address the B2C, today we're in concept. Whether it happens or not is a matter of time. But conceptually, they didn't understand that if we actually sold advertising on their own platform, that they could actually be making this a profit center and not a cost center. And that education took some time. That proof of concept took some time. So now there are more willing to do so. So our inventory base is also going to grow. And now some of our clients are also selling advertising with us on that inventory from nothing to this.
Okay. Move on to next question from Bharati Agarwal. What is the repeat business from existing clients?
We love this. Harpreet, please address
Yeah.
how many clients.
All right. So to address your question, so all of our business virtually comes from existing clients because we bill the clients month on month basis. We have a service which is ongoing in the stores. The music and the announcements that play inside retail stores, uh, they continue to be refreshed and updated every few days, right? And so to that extent, all our business or practically all of most of our business comes from existing clients. And most of our clients have been working with us for many years now. In fact, some of our largest clients have been with us for over a decade.
So there's two ways: we upsell and then we increase the customer base, and then we upsell to them again.
Move on to next question.
Because getting radio into the business is the easier, is the least barrier to entry, right? Because every retailer needs music because it's a business necessity. So it's easier to make a relationship through something they need, a problem we're solving. And once in there and the relationship is built and they see that we are diligent and good, we then say, okay, we have this too, and here's what you can use. So that's how we increase our pool. So radio is a great entry point.
Okay. One more question from Anandi Mittal. What is the contribution from top 10 clients?
Mm, Harpreet, you want to address that?
Just allow me a moment.
So when we say contribution from top 10 clients, I'm presuming that we are talking from a top line perspective. So I would say that our top 10 clients would account for almost 50 odd percent. No, maybe around 45, just under 50%, I would say.
Yeah, it's slightly less than 50%.
Yeah, less than 50%.
Next question is from Ishita Ahuja. Who are our close competitors and what are our competitive advantages?
So, Harpreet, you want to take maybe top two, you can take, which we are.
So as Harry mentioned in the presentation also, we have competitors within India and outside India as well. So I'll just name a couple of them from India. Mujik is one of our competitors, and then HT Media has an entity called Fab Music. So HT Media, as you are all aware, is a large media entity. So they have a entity called Fab Music. Now, and apart from that, there are quite a few other competitors also within India and outside India as well. So the advantages that we have over our competitors are one in terms of our service deliverables, which is why most of our large clients stick to us. Two, our continuous investments in technology build a moat around our services. So it's not easy for everybody else to kind of build that level of technology sophistication. For example, our services can be provided on any kind of network, secured, unsecured, Windows, Android environment, or Linux environment, or customized devices, etc., which we provide. So that sort of flexibility, it's very difficult to build around. This is just one of the features which I'm mentioning about. Um, the key is to invest continuously in terms of technology and in terms of keeping a close watch on the services or maintaining high levels of service. That I think are the biggest competitive advantages for us.
Okay. Move on to next question from Kirti Yadav. What is our working capital cycle? Is our business working capital intensive or capital intensive?
So typical working capital for company, any media company, and we are also falling in the same cycle. It's anywhere between 60 to 75 days. And being a SaaS business, we get covered under that. It is not a capital intensive business on the audio side, and even on the digital screens as well. We are not going to be overtly capital based. It will still be an asset light. And from our model, what we are working on, all the digital screens capex, what we are putting in, we recover it in 12 to 18 months. We will have our payback period. And typically we have contracts for like 3 to 5 years. So that helps us in, you know, having a good margins into these businesses as well.
Okay. Next question is from Mr. P. Narukuli. Does you SaaS business support work from home cooperative business? SaaS
Uh,
business support work from home cooperative business?
so COVID ensured all of that.
So the thing is that it can, but you know, music licensing is a deterrent for just on the app based thing, because music labels have a different licensing regime if the content is routed through any app, whereas if it is in a closed door environment, the licensing are different and much cheaper. So yes, for a non music part, yes, it can be done, but I don't see music will be allowed for work from home environment.
And that's a gray area, which again could emerge. And we have a close relationship with the licensing authorities that we could then open up a whole new category for them because it's also revenue for them
Yeah.
that we now have access to funnel through to them as well. So yeah, conceptually, it's doable. And thank
Okay.
you for that question because it triggered something here.
Move on to next question from Deepika Chadha. The public holding is over 44%. What are investors and who are the investors in the company? Have we done any pre-IPO placements? If yes, at what price and what valuation was considered?
Angad, Angad, you want to take that?
Yeah, sorry. Uh, so basically, in the public, there are two major type of investors that are there. One is the a few of the employees of the company, and the second is Mr. Ashish Kacholia, who holds around 10% stake in the company. These are the major stakeholders. And
Okay.
do they have any private placement? Yes. So yeah, the placement was done on a secondary transfer from the existing shareholders back in at in to the all the investors that are holding it now.
And a crore of pre-IPO was done um, to the new set of investors as well. So that was around 20% lower than the IPO price.
Okay. Move on to next question from Daljit Singh. What is the sustainability of the business? What if there is chance in the policies in retail stores to play personalized music of their own choice?
Well, they already had this, choice. And that's why did they come to Radio Wala today? They were all playing music. It's not that we are creating any kind of music. Music was always there. The question was, this was never a core business for them. And also the pain point was at multiple location, how do they manage and ensure that there is a similarity,
Consistency.
consistency of communication across? That was a very, very big pain point for retail stores. And we work very closely with Retailers Association of India, and we hold advocacy sessions with our lawyers for their legal teams, because music licensing is a very complicated subject for them. And we help them, you know, wade through those waters and ensure that only the licensed music gets played.
See, this is not their core competency. So they used to spend a lot of time trying to figure this out. And music is a big part of branding, no different from a logo that is consistent. So if the store in city A, B, C, or Z sounds the same. That is exactly what they've been going for. But in the old regime, when they say do it myself, you cannot maintain that, and they recognized it uh, world over, and definitely in India. And so that is never going to be an issue. And even if they do want to do that, they will still need the back-end tools that we have to help them use it. So one way or the other, they're now looking to accompany a service like us.
Okay. On to next question from Mr. Pritesh Vora. We are playing music in stores. Whose ads we are running in the store and additional earning this ad revenue?
Harpreet, you want to take?
Yeah, so there are two models. One is a branded channel where the brand wants to run only its own promotions. Okay, they don't want any third party advertising in their stores. The second model typically runs in a grocery store environment where we can run third party advertising in the store, which is non competing, and where the advertiser pays us money for running their ad campaign in the store. Now, this ad revenue is shared with the retail partner also. So it's a win-win for all the three parties involved. The brand, which gets to target the customers at the point of purchase. Us, obviously, because we run the platform, we get the revenue from the advertiser, and the retail partner also because they generate revenue from a media which otherwise they wouldn't have thought monetizable, right?
And I would add the customers benefit as well, because sometimes the customers don't know that there's some benefit going on there. For example, when I recently shopped, I heard it was our own client, and I heard them saying 15, 20% off during Holi, and I was just there in that period. And I said, oh, because it was nowhere else, just on the radio.
Right.
And I got the benefit. So it is a benefit to customers as well.
Okay, got it. Move on to next question from Yujendra. What are valuations parameters considered for placing our issue price?
Angad?
So, as I told that the post-money capital, post-money valuation of the company after this IPO round will be around 53.5 crores, and pre-money will be somewhere around 39 crores. And the company is looking at a PE of somewhere around 25 watt uh, for this particular IPO size.
Okay. Next question is from Mr. Aditya Mehta. Also highlight your strength over competitors and their over yours. Where are we behind and ahead?
I think we have already covered this. Harpreet has covered this on our strengths vis-a-vis competition.
Okay, so we'll move on
Very,
to
very
next.
quickly, if you want to recap, if that you want to do that.
Yes, sir, you can, or we can move on to next question.
Okay, well, I'm not hearing from him. So
Our next question is from Ms. Priya. What is expected store size we are planning to reach by 2025 and 2026?
So today we are doing around 27,000 plus stores, and historically, we have been able to add 8 to 10,000 stores per annum. And with this funding in place and everything, we would like to increase the speed with which we access and increase our data base of retail stores.
Okay. Move on to next question from Anandi Mittal. Also, what strategies are being implemented to reverse this trend and ensure sustainable cash flow management?
No, we have been cash flow positive wherever 1 or 2 years where it was negative was primarily we had invested in some of the devices which we had to place as part of our uh, expansion plan, and we have been able to recover. So typically our payback period is 12 to 18 months, as I mentioned earlier. So it purely depends if we had to onboard a large client who have more than 1,000 stores and everything. So there could be some investment at that level. But otherwise, now we have been cash flow positive uh, on both sides.
Okay. Anandi Mittal, all the very best to the team for IPO. It seems positive. I think
Thank you, Anand.
we have covered majority of questions. Are a very interesting and interactive live session. All the best to the manner. So I think we have covered majority of questions. We can conclude this meeting. Thank you, Harvichandit Singh, Mr. Bhatia, Mr. Harpreet Singh, Mr. Angad, Ms. Nikita, for giving insights about the company and IPO to the investors community. And thank you, investors who participate for the IPO roadshow. Thank you once again.
Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.